Welcome back to the Thrifted Dragon. I appreciate you stopping in. I want to show you a project that we're working on this week. It's for Monster Bash 3. Let's go! Welcome back. I'm so glad that you decided to join us again this week. I had seen some videos online of people participating in Monster Bash 3, and I really wanted to join in. I thought it looked like so much fun. Since it was an open invite, I clicked on the random card generator. Some of them you'll see in the pictures. Some of them kind of look gray because when I go to take a screenshot, the screen turns gray. There's 7 different pictures that I randomly selected, and I'm gonna make a monster out of those. My base is gonna be another Dollar Tree find, and this is a bird skeleton that I'm gonna, oh! I'm not using you yet, okay? He's scared already. This guy didn't even get used. And I'm just using this for the legs and the head. In the head, you'll see I'm gonna clip it down, and I also drew a frog face card. So I'm gonna make a little frog, toad actually, creation. So stick with us and I'll show you how to turn this into a monster. First I started by disassembling this bird. And I'm using a pair of tin snips for that, because that is really tough plastic, super tough. Now I'm just forming this back together with some aluminum foil and some hot glue and making my armature. I'm using wire for the armature for the arms. And for the eyes, I'm using my safety eyes, and I'm also snipping those and filing them flat. I got these birds from the Dollar Tree, little cardinals, and for another project, and I want to just harvest his little legs so I can use these for the hands for my frog monster toad guy. Now I'm just adding some hot glue and some yarn around the arms, what are gonna be the arms, and I'm adding in those bird feet for his hands. So I just use the hot glue to kind of secure it on there while I wrap the yarn around it. You don't have to use the hot glue, but it helps. And now I'm making myself a little pattern with his with some clear plastic on his face, so I can start covering him in this black material that I have. And I just use Fabri-Tac for that. So as you can see, I'm also using hot glue. It sets a lot quicker, and now I'm forming his pipe because that was one of the cards that I had drawn. So I'm just using some wire and a little plastic piece I got off that Mardi Gras necklace, and I'm making him a little pipe. And piece that together with hot glue. There's a lizard on a wizard. Come and visiting me today. So after I discovered our little lizard friend, I trapped him and I let him go safely outside. And some fabric that I got while thrift shopping. And I want to show you the fabric because it's amazing. I got all this fabric at the thrift store. First of all, I was looking for some material that reminded me of moss. And because I want to use moss a lot, I even want to put some on this sweater. I want to turn it into a mossy looking sweater. So I found this hoodie at the thrift store, and I've already used some of it because it looks like moss. I also found this shirt, and if you look really close to it, it looks mossy too. So I found those were each almost $5. I had to get them because I love the material, and I had to grab it while I could because I've been looking for material like this for a while. The second thing I want to show you is this box of material that I got from the thrift store. Old box material, $9.99. The first thing I noticed was this black material. It looks like lizard skin. I love lizards. This really nice brown material. It's like a suede. So much cool stuff in here. And it's nice big chunks. Like, I mean, this is a yard at least. And that's folded up. And the favorite thing I got out of here, I got a whole bunch of this brown material. There's another thing of this brown material too. So keep your eyes out at the thrift store. That was a good find. Some of those materials are $9.99 a yard all by themselves, and I got lucky on that one. So after our lizard visit, I decided to make my little guy a cloak. And I started by just piecing some of that different fabric together. And here I'm using a basting stitch for the long back of the cloak, and I'm going to add that to that fur piece. And so I just basted that, and then I hot glued that on my fur, my fake fur. And it made a nice little cape. And now I want to make a hood for that, turn it into a cloak. And I've made a lot of these. I can't really describe how to make it, but I've used this same pattern and it always works. It's kind of a triangle with a flat place on the bottom, and I stitched that to the top of the cloak and try to just match everything up before I clip it, and it worked out quite well for this guy because he doesn't have a neck, so I didn't have to worry about the height for the neck. And I was rather chafed by that. Is that the word they say? Chafed? Chuffed? I like that word. I'm chuffed by this. I used a little blanket stitch on there so it looks rather nice. So once I had painted him, I realized that I didn't really like the shape of his face, and I decided to take a chance and add some of this tacky glue and some Model Magic and try to reshape his face using some reference pictures, which I really should have done before. And it really helped a lot. I think it made him look a lot more toady, and I was also really happy with that. Model Magic is so versatile, and it really helped out in a pinch because I could not have baked him. So there we go. There's some of that mossy material, and I want to show you what I did to his cloak right here. I sat and watched The Hobbit with my family one night, and I just added all these little bits onto the cloak, onto the edges for the trimming, and some of it I basted and added on, some of it I just clipped on, but I tried to make it look organic. And now I'm just going to do the lazy route with the back hem and just hot glue that one on. And it turns out really cool. It's great for a frog cloak. A toad cloak. A toad cloak. Sounds like a thing. And here I'm adding a little button onto his loincloth belt piece of clothing that I made for him. And here I'm using the tip of my hot glue gun to warm up the legs and reshape those how I want them. And paint that spider so I can use him for the bottom of our mimic. So I kind of used the reference pictures to add some details to his toady little face. And now I'm working on what I decided was going to be a mimic. I have this little ship and I'm putting it on the spider legs, and he's going to have it for a puppet hand. That's a mouthful. And I just kept working on adding little details to his outfit. Here I wanted a little pouch for him, and so I'm just piecing together a simple little pouch. And now I'm working on the base of my mimic puppet legs. And oh, he's okay. I wanted all the paint to match what was already on the ship, but I didn't want to change the ship at all, so I made it match the ship. And here's a little castle pendant that I found in my stash, so I painted that. And here's his little pipe that I finished off camera. It's supposed to be like a little meerschaum pipe. And let's put some smokage in there. He's smoking mullein, just so you know. And I just pushed that in the top of the pipe to give it a little more detail. And I put a little spot of orange paint on that. And now it's lit. What did you think about our little monster? So for the Monster Bash, I think we're going to call this one a fail, because this guy is not a monster. I understand. He's not super big. He's not super scary. But I'm calling it a win for making something random, using random prompts. I want to point out everything that I got from the random prompt generator. One was a ship. I got the ship. I got these weird leg things. He's a puppet kind of thing on this guy's arm. So there's 3 cards right there. He's wearing a castle as a pendant, 4 cards. His legs, chicken legs, 5 cards. He's got a pipe, 6 cards. Oh, and 7 was his face, 7 cards. We did it. That's a win. As for being a monster, that's a fail. But hey, I got something I don't mind hanging around my house. And you don't mind hanging around the house too. He is so glad I made him. He's not an accident. We have happy accidents here. Thank you for the open invitation to participate in Monster Bash 3. Miscast had started this, and I had seen so many artists make wonderful things. I checked out pretty much every Monster Bash 3 video that I could find. I got a lot of inspiration. I got a lot of nice comments back. And I really appreciate the community. The art community is so wonderful and kind and inspiring. So thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this week's project, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Have you heard of the Monster Bash? It's where you think of things on a budget. I really like to talk in a funny voice. You don't think of things. It's where you take these things, for me it's funnies, and you put them together. It's the way. And you make tally-ho, bash, a Monster Bash. So for now, that is all. And I will see you next week. Thanks.